And when we would like to develop the soil database, we also, the first thing we have to know about the importance of the soil. And being soil scientists, we all love to talk about soil much, and we all love to save our soil healthy. And as you all know that 95% of the food comes from soil, and everyone who relies on the soil throughout our lives for clothing, food, shelter, everything. And also, you may also know that soil is a non-renewable resources. So that we have responsibility to save our soil. We have responsibility to sustain our soil. And in yesterday, the DG presentation also mentioned about that 70% of the population in our country are farmers. So our country relies on the production of the agricultural and also both for the livelihood of the farmers as well as our staple food as well as an income, and also everything is relying on the agriculture, and that means everything and everyone relies on the earth and soil. And also this is also FAO would like to aware about the importance of soil, and when we think about the safety and sustainability of the production from the soil, we should have the basic data, or we should have the status and information about the soil in detail. That will help us to manage our soil to be sustainability as well as to increase our production. And other than that, if we do not care about the database, if someone or in other country would like to know about the information of our country's soil data, so if we are missing on that, we cannot share, we cannot learn from the other. They also would not like to have data. They also miss data getting from us. So this is also important to be a database, to have a database to manage our soil as well as to share our information to the others. So, and also if we establish the soil database, so we are lacking technology, and if we are using the standard operation procedure is lagging behind much to the other country, our unit and our interpretation and our data will not be the same as in the other country. If it is so, we could not discuss, we could not participate, we could not understand each other if the data is not harmonized with the other country. So establishment of soil database is important, as well as unit use and the analysis data, the standard operation procedure to analyze the soil is also important. So FAO is concerned much on that one. And what our first step is, so Russian also participate in the Global Soil Partnership. Thailand and Myanmar also participate in the ASEAN Soil Partnership of the UNFAO. So in 2016, the ASEAN-Russian Federation Senior Official Meeting on Agriculture held on 7 April 2016 stated that one, development of a smart system based on large-scale soil-geographic databases is a part of global world information system. So in such a way that we can share our data each other, and we can learn from the other, also the other can know about what are the status and what are the information about our soil in our country. So in if we see in the globalization and globally and internationally, the Moscow Soil Information Data Center is a part of international network of soil information institution, INSIIN. It is also a member of GSP, Global Soil Partnership in FAO. We are very much proud of that. Now we have chance to work together with Russian Federation. They have already international standard system, and also we can learn from them. We are very much thankful about this, and we are receiving such kind of project in our country. We appreciate you very much, and we are very much grateful to that one. And we are also proud of that because of the Russian also have a national network soil information, and also in the UN FAO, this is an international standard. And we ASEAN also is a countries of ASEAN Soil Partnership and in UN FAO. So the soil-geographic database of Russian Federation is developed and registered. They already register about their data in Russia, and it using the international standard. This we can see is in this website, soil-db.ru. Russian Federation brought together to develop the experts related to the soil database system, Thailand and Myanmar. I will say that we are very lucky to be a partner with Russia, Thailand, and Myanmar. And we also thank very much for that project, and also very much grateful to Thailand and also to Russia. And this is the aiming of development of the expert system and adaptation and promotion of exceptional and designed to enhance real development. These are the main objectives of this project. This is the very beginning and very first step of the project. And during this, after this, and we have received an email from our respected Dr. Irina. I'm very happy to hear about that. We can participate in such kind of system, such kind of project, and we have chance to develop our soil database. So thank you very much. And so starting from February 2018, discussion through email, and then in May 2018, 4 delegates from Myanmar and 4 delegates from Thailand attend the first international workshop held in Moscow State University. And in December 2018, second workshop was held in Thailand. So we have learned much about the many other countries has already developed, already well organized the database system. After coming back from that, our DG is very enthusiastic, and he is very supportive to all researchers who are willing to work, who are willing to do the innovative idea and develop their research and the other things. So that we requested that to have a working group, because this is a soil, when we say the soil, there are many portions to use on the soil, like irrigation, forestry, and urbanization, and transportation. Everything is using a recreation center, aside from the agriculture and forestry. So that we could not stand alone with the Department of Agriculture Research. As our DG explained in his presentation yesterday, in our department have soil and plant analysis laboratory, and we have soil fertility status analysis data throughout the country in our lab. But in DOA, land use department, they have responsibility for the soil map, soil classification map. Now they are developing the soil suitability and land suitability map throughout ACIR project. So that DOA have soil map data, and we have soil fertility data. And also we negotiate in the land Department of Agriculture, Land Management and Statistics, this morning he presented about what their responsibility and what they are doing now. So they developed the cadastral map so that we organize, and also as well as our respected professor from Yezin Agricultural University, they have lecture to the students to work on the swine and also in agronomy, swine water and agronomy. So that they have data for the swine and other agricultural cropping data in Yezin Agricultural University, and also they train students to specialization in swine and water, and as well as in agronomy. So that our DG organized one meeting in 2018, July, and we organized one working group to have collect data, and also first lecture we got from the Russian group, and Dr. Oleksek, and which kind of data we do need. They have agrochemical division and also the land use. So we do need to collect all the data in one soil database, so that our DG organized one working group. After that, DG is also enthusiastic, and he encouraged us as fast as we can. We have to do this. This is high time, and this is important one. So that he gave us one desktop computer used only for that soil database. So we will show you tomorrow, and we have that one, and Dr. Aungjotu from DAR and Dr. Sanlatri from DOA, they sit together in our office, and they try to encode the data, what we have. So soil map data, that is on a paper map, and the data are also in not a soft copy, it is a hard copy, and they try to all the data to have a soft copy in one database. So Dr. Sanlatri also tried to get their data from the land use division, and they put the data, and Dr. Aungjotu also what we all have, soil fertility data in a Excel format, and now we have collected several thousands of data in that computer. So we still need to organize to the other department and to have the data what they have. So it should be, we have to work together and to have one database for Myanmar. This should be the national soil database for Myanmar. So this is what we expecting. You may also notice that these two circles I added this morning. So we already have this group, YAU, DAR, DOA, and Land Management and Statistics. We have a working group here. We still need to have the other staff from Irrigation Department and Forestry. This is from the other ministry. Irrigation Department is the same under same ministry. So that we do need to reorganize our working group, and we have to extend with the other staff from Irrigation Department and Forestry, and so that we can get the data from them. So all the data collect, and it becomes a national soil database, and so that we can also share data each other. It can support to the global soil database, so that the other country can know about the status of our soil information, and we will also learn from the other soil information from the other countries. So it will take time, but it is the important one to have the national soil database for the whole country, and we have to link with the other country to share the global soil database. So what will be the future collaboration that I had already explained about the status of what we are now, and if we learn from other, we need technology know-how on GIS mapping, and also we have a data. But Dr. Onjotu has some experience on mapping and some area photo space or something. But we do need to have a GIS mapping and how to link the attribute data to the mapping and using the aerial photo and like polygon and other than and the data from the latitude and longitude to know where we are working, in which place we are working for, and how about the soil data in that place. So that there are many things we do need to learn from the other countries and other experts. So I would like to explain in internal what we have to do and what we are expecting from the external assistance. Within the DER, to have one expert team organized who can work well on GIS, mapping, and understand well about the soil data information. So we are now working with our soil group, and also DOE is participate and very work together, very well organized group. But these group also need some other information, some other technology know-how on how we develop and how we are continue working to faster to get the national soil database very fast, and we would like to do immediately. We are going to have a national soil database, so that we do need the training for that one. And also we have to work together with other departments and establishment of soil database. So, so what we are expecting is work together to have a one national soil database. So each department right now, they have already collected the data. But those data are in the different departments. This is the difference between Thailand and Myanmar. We appreciate much of the land development department. They have the section or division related to the soil. They are under the same department of land development department. So that easy to organize and get the data easily under one department. So for us, there are different sections and different departments, even under the same ministry. Aside from the forestry department, they are under the other ministry. So but each department have our own data. So the first thing, we have to organize to the other departments to share the data to us, because we are aiming to have one national soil database. So that if we have a working group and we can work together, so they already have the data. So if they share their data to us, so we can improve our soil database very fast and very easy. But we have to organize that one. In external assistance, we still need to have training and close supervision, establish soil database. So while we are working, Dr. Aungjotu and especially Dr. Sanlatui, thank you very much for your effort. And while they are working, so they find the difficulties. They are very thirsty to ask the question how we can do in this way. They have, sometimes they got sweating working on that one. So if the technology is difficult, the one who know how the technology, what we have to use in this. So the one who already know about that one, for him or for her, it can be easy to work it. For us, we don't know about that one. It is difficult for us, so that we do need external assistance to share us on that one. And if we have soil database team, we would like to have chance to train them Dr. Irina and Dr. Olex and team from Moscow State University, minimum at least 2 weeks or 1 month. So in the feeling of the Dr. Angzhou too, tomorrow he will also show what he is doing on the database, and if they have some difficulty, they would like to ask immediately, and what we can continue on that point and something. So in his working place, if there is a close supervisor for 2 weeks, he can solve such kind of problem. So we still need to have data policy and regulation and on data sharing. This is related to our country. So right now, what we learn from our country is they have already written about the SAFA policy and data sharing, regulation, rule and regulation, but not finalized one. So if we develop our national soil database, we have to also obey the data sharing policy of the other country, also as well as we have established data sharing policy if we would like to share our data to others, and if we would like to use the data from the other country. So it is also still developing in our country. And so that if we want me to give a simple project or simple, let's say a simple or small one project to continue our further collaboration with Russian Federation and Thailand, and we are also part of the ASEAN Soil Partnership. We also take back in, especially for me, in the Pillar 5, harmonization of the soil data, and also have this year, as Mr. Udo explained about that, the land degradation map and soil erosion map, salinity map, and carbon sequestration map, we have to submit to the FAO. So you can also notice about that when they are drawing about the organic carbon map, the wild organic carbon map. So in Myanmar, we could not submit immediately. So because I was thinking that we have to give a map to them, but we have organic carbon data. But when we think about that, we have to submit the organic carbon map. We don't know how to develop or how to draw a map with our own data. So at that time, it takes time, but we confess to them, we have data, but we are lacking the knowledge to draw a map, so that the FAO suggests us, you should submit us which kind of data, in which format, so they draw for us. So this is if the WA and the FAO would like to for the whole WA and the whole earth, if the one country is missing, this is the missing for the whole WA. So that every country should have a systematic database so that we can share when FAO think about the whole world. So the same as in that organic carbon also, this is what I would like to emphasize on the harmonization. So they already finished the organic carbon map, but there are many systems for the determination of the organic carbon in different countries. So this time, the Myanmar is what I would like to say is, we are not so much developed. It is a kind of a good thing. The much developed country like Japan and Korea, they are using carbon nitrogen analyzer. So the carbon nitrogen analyzer gives the total carbon of the soil. But FAO wants organic carbon for the agricultural land and for the whole world. So if the method and equipment used is very advanced, but the data is not exactly what FAO wants, so that carbon and nitrogen analyzer give the total carbon content of the soil. But for us, our analysis system is white and black. It is a simple one, but we determine the organic carbon. So that is relevant to the data what the FAO want. So now they have asking the question and filling out the form from FAO, what is your method used, what are the chemicals, what is the unit used. So the unit is also important. If someone set the milligram per kilogram of the organic carbon, if someone set the percent of the organic carbon, and some set the ppm, some set ppb, something like that. So if it is different, we could not see each other and we could not compare our data in a one database. So the harmonization is also important. So right now, if we are thinking about the small collaboration and simple project, we will work on the collect the data about the salinity problem. It is also alarming in each and every country. That's why you may also notice that in the 2018 December meeting in Thailand, we have a December 6th opening ceremony of SESRA, and we all, the Asian country, are requested to work first on the salinity problem. So that we have to save the water, we have to save everything. At that time, we introduced the water-saving technology. This is the one reason to develop a salinity problem area also. And also the anchorages for the another one is the hot weather under the climate change. So the salinity problem is becoming important when we think about the soil degradation. So the salinity problem area, from our side, Myanmar side, we will collect the soil sample. We will do the analysis from the soil and plant analysis data laboratory, as well as in the water irrigation water analysis laboratory. We will analyze the data. We will take the responsibility of that. And after getting the data, and we would like to request to the other assistants from the MSU and Thailand team to have a kind and close supervision on that data, how we can manage to have a salinity data and salinity map. So this is also in line with the FAO, GSP and ASP, and we can also, in such a way that the objective of this project, we already train experts on the soil database in our country, and also we already developed our soil database. This is my thinking, and thank you very much.
So thank you, Dr. Susui, for your nice presentation. Now the floor is open for discussion. So questions, suggestions, and comments are welcome. Thank you.
Approach, point of view, and what one thing that I should point out, that from our experience, the maybe main thing to start is not even not skills in GIS, not skills in maybe database science, but conceptual approach. Mm-hmm. For example, less than 1.5 years ago in FAO, it was a meeting of working group, Pillar 4 and Pillar 5, and we already almost have cookbook for soil description, but conceptual model is not finished yet. Mm-hmm. So let us understand, we also did not finish conceptual model, but we can separate several processes. One process is to define your national conceptual and object model. Mm. The second one is to enhance your skill in GIS and digital soil mapping. And third approach is to trying to collect all this data in your own suitable for you, for your country form. Is this three process, and all this process should be at the same time. Yeah. Yeah. So, and here I can see JS, I can see soil database, but I can't see the conceptual and object model of whole system.
Yeah.
As only one point I want to add.
Thank you for your suggestions, because I put that one first. Is we have almost done all the data in that is in the Excel format. So that Dr. Sanlatui, what we have all the data from the DOA land use, and as well as what we have the data from the DAR, we already put into the database already. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
We will show you tomorrow. So
Fine.
that Dr. Aungchotu will also explain about that tomorrow, and we will show you. So we promise to Dr. Irina, we will do immediately, and we will do it as fast as we can. Because when we submit the paper map to Dr. Irina, she suggested me and reminded me, you have to digitize those data so that all the data what we have from land use department for the soil map and from soil science session, all the data for the soil fertility, we put all together in a database. So that is in the Excel format. You can check tomorrow, and you can have some comments on that.
Of course,
We are very love to have your comments and suggestions.
Of course.
So that this, a part of this, we will develop what other we have the data. We continuously developing on the filling of the data and the database what we have, and so that now in situation we already put the data in the file. That's why I requested they should also learn about the GIS and some other mapping and system. So I put that is in the first one. Thank you for your suggestion.
Well, I just remind that, for example, our work started from inventory work. So we collect examples from various form of soil and soil-related information, because not, for example, the cadastry Queen map is not direct soil, but it is soil-related.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we found in our country a lot of types of information. And after we collect all examples and separate them into limited number of type, we can say that we made an object model. So I'm very interested in this inventory work in your country. So you can collect examples of data in various form from all departments to make a decision how many objects will be in your model. So tomorrow we will continue. Just
yeah, thank you. I thought that Dr. Aungchotu will explain in your presentation in detail about the URD. I thought that he already explained here about what he had done. Okay, tomorrow he will show you. So that in our objective.
May I add some?
Yeah.
It's right. Oleg was right. Олег, помогите, пожалуйста, сейчас я скажу. The thing is, the first step maybe one parameter делится divided into 2 or 3 parameters, prepared, and in finish we we can see all type information you have. Then we we can collect these types and show what we what we can получить, get from it information. It may be salinity, for irrigation, for some another problem. As for us, we defined what we some task, and we выбираем, choose from our spectrum of all types information what we need, and then we складываем, combine for our algorithm. So the first step, types information, prepare him, and then collect on another level, on the next level. Yes?
Thank you. What I understand is the soil survey data, what we have is textural class, and then layer by layer, pH and organic carbon and P and K. So these are for the survey data from the land use department. And from our side, soil fertility data, textural class, and sensitive clay percent, pH, EC, and some available nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and other micronutrients, and also organic carbon. So all the things we have such kind of data for the soil fertility. For the soil mapping, layer by layer, soil color, soil texture class, I think so, Dr. Tanatri, is it correct? pH and P and K.
An algorithm for creating a simplified algorithm for creating a global soil database. But as an IT developer, I think that
without me.
As an IT developer, I think that I can use an analogy of building, of making a multi-floor building. It's better to start with building a small house, which will be suitable to live. Yes, I hope you understand my analogy. So I will explain it a little bit. I mean that, of course, we can define all the types of information we want to see in the global global soil database. But I think we should use it just for understanding what we will get in future. And right now, we could concentrate on creating, I would say, an alpha version, not even a beta release of this database. So my suggestion would be to limit the number of parameters, to make them as few as possible, and very important thing is to for all of us to define what do we call a global soil database, because when we speak global soil database, each of us imagines something himself, herself. I mean, in Russia, we have our soil database. Thailand database is a bit different. You are building another database. So we have to decide to define the broads in different directions. I mean, the parameters, the territory, even to define that we will have in the first version of this database, we want one area, not all the Myanmar, but one area from Myanmar, one area from Thailand, one area from Russia. We want the following functions, and we have to define these functions to view the map. For example, only salinity, for example. So I think you got my idea. We should understand what we are going to develop, and only after this we can develop a plan for building this database. And another comment, the second, is that after the Thailand conference, I said to my colleagues that it would be a great idea for Myanmar colleagues to come to Russia for training for about a month, I said. And you repeated this thing, this thought here, so probably this is a rational step. That's it. That's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. If you allow me to set the data, the first parameter to be similar to the other countries. So how about pH and organic carbon? Only two parameters, pH and organic carbon. Yeah, this is from our side.
Okay, but we should create a document. We should document it, and this should be this document should be shared between all the participants. And even more, I would suggest to use version control. This is IT term for software development. And version control means that we have the full history of developing this document. This is the first part, and the second is that everybody can contribute to this document anytime from anywhere. And we probably can start this work. But another comment, very important, that what I'm telling you, what we are discussing is just that we want to do, but of course we need resources for that. I mean, human resources and of course financial, and that's not what I'm responsible for. I mean, this should be discussed, and the ways should be found to somewhere organize this work. And as I know, very often solving these problems is very difficult. So no, you understand me.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Dr. Oleg will add.
That's all I can.
Excuse me, and let me share with you a little, maybe our experience, and a little history. About 8 years ago, when we started to work with Irina, we united two our databases, Russian databases, in one. I said that according to my experience, who is better? Soil scientists that have skills of computer science, or computer engineer who is trying to catch soil science understanding? Who is better for this work? Your opinion. Who is better?
Totally agree with you. Because, yeah, the soil scientists who can work well on the computer, it should be in our team.
Oh, yeah. And Of course, in our experience, we have successful experience and we have unsuccessful experience. And first thing in successful experience was when we oriented on soil scientists or soil specialists, agrarian specialists with skills in information science. The first thing. The second thing. The first thing is because only soil or agricultural specialists can define the target aim of all this system. Only final customer, only this kind of specialist. The second thing is we started in a comparatively complex world environment when each department must not only work for this, but each department must implement his usual everyday work. And in that case, the best way is, according to our experience, is to develop system suitable for, at first, for national task, department task, and the second aim, a second target is to be compatible with international and to provide FAO with this map. Second. So we must start with accounting the needs of a real practical department. The third thing is that the most complex, the most time-consuming part of database is data preparing and input. 95, 99%. And only 1% is to get information back in certain form. So, when you said about salinity map, or soil carbon map, this is not raw initial information. Yes? Of course. We derive this information from other sources. For example, you can have a map of content of stoniness, yes, in one department, yeah? And in other department you can have the content of humus, and in third department you can have the power of humus horizon. Yeah? Three departments. All these departments should, on everyday base, input their data according their everyday responsibility, their everyday duty. The most complex, most time-consuming part of work. And after that, to generate soil carbon map, it's one click of button. This doesn't, of course, you can develop 1, 2, 3, or 15 of 100 algorithms to calculate carbon map. Yes? And if you have database, you can compare these algorithms with each other. Yes. But the main task is to compose raw source data, not salinity map, not soil carbon or soil erosion map, but source data. Yes. So it means that not limited number of parameters, not whole number of parameters, but only number of parameters you use in your everyday work. One department can collect 4, 5, or 10 parameters. Well, just input them into database. Other department can collect 20 or 10. Just collect. And in database, you can recognize how many parameters you have. Some of them will duplicate each other. And on the basis of the whole set, you can make issue about partial derived map like soil erosion or carbon. Yeah.
We have the same feeling and the same idea with you. That's why we put all the data what we have.
Yeah.
So we do not limit the parameter. We put all the data what we have and to be identified. One. And also the land use department, they have already what all data they have, we put there. If it is for a training and for a working, for a just for the limit parameter and for the teaching or for discussing, if it is so, we will focus on pH and organic carbon. But we already put all the data what we have. We did not limit the parameter.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
thank
I had to say that it is not right, at least from my point, to start with limited parameters aimed on certain international task. It is better to start from inventory, as Dr. Irina said, start from listing all information you have on everyday manner, and then to start to collect this information into 1, 2, 3, or one unified database. Not limited. Not
Yes, and the second thing is when we say the team, our DG organize only our staff and other staff from the government, staff from the other. No new and no new strange one.
And
the government staff,
and our team really, our team is really maybe I can say our team is successful only because we are in constantly arguing with each other, because distinct point of view. The truth is lies in the middle of this.
We all are government staff, and also we did not limit the parameter. We put all what we have, but Alexandra suggests us to build a simple and small house, so that I mentioned two parameter, pH and organic carbon. Thank you very much.
So Suvin and Oleg, please go to maybe the second slide or three slide to say about the INSEE. No.
SSI?
No. INS. Yes. Yes. And this is my question is because when we're looking about no, because we are. I'm also in the pillar 4 of the ASP and take response of soil and data, and I think that we together when we saw about the soil data, that the FAO of the ESP they have an INSEE already that we have to ask Oleg and the team that with the framework of ASEAN-Russia, that we now be together. This is belong to INSEE, right? I mean that now we have INSEE, yes, this project, it should be belong to INSEE or not, or separate from INSEE, because I think that when we have the project, it should be collaborated together, not only ASEAN or Russia, but should be we can cooperate with the another part of the world that GSP give the structure of INSEE already. And I think you also you are a member of INSEE. Yeah.
I can understand
Yep.
I can understand this situation. Now, international network of soil information institutions does not really work. Because there is a working group, there is a draft conceptual model, there is a couple maybe draft standards. I have a draft of cookbook, but all these works should be finished before a plenary meeting in FAO that is finished right now, but all this work was not finished yet. But of course, during our meetings, working group, we all understand that the main thing is to have a national standard, and Rainer Baitz, the head of Pillar 5, make a report in which it is allowable to have national standard and then transferring national standard to international standard. As now we have no one international standard, not yet, yeah. Even we have not now even a conceptual model, because model that derived from Inspire EU Union model is differs from ISO 28258 model. So it is not finished yet, but the main thing is that either country has its own conceptual model, national standard, and this standard must be represented in the XML form. Does not mean that the data must stored in XML form. Doesn't mean, but you must have a standard describing in XML format. And if you have this standard, it is more, at least it seems like it is easy to transfer from one standard to international standard than to transfer from nothing to international standard. Of course, there is another way. Do not have standard at all, and ESIC will do all for us. You see, but of course you know how can ESIC can help your country, inside your country, because they have very approximately map, very approximately data. Yeah. So, of course, your country will be represented in the world map, but your country will not have any benefit from this, because you need in real data, actual data. So it is better to start from now, to start from elaborating your own standard according to principles stated in Pillar 5 FAO. Sure, I can share with you all these materials. So it is my duty to share.
Sorry, Eric, that I will just show you about the standard that in Thailand they have looked like the profile, soil profile description that Bhumatana will show you. And I think is if we are lucky, that it means from your what you call project เขาเรียกอะไรวะโปรแกรมอะ from เขาเรียก from your app เขาเรียกอะไรวะเนี่ยแอปใช่ไหม from your application from เรียกอะไรวะโอ้เขาเรียกอะไรวะโอ้ไอเนี้ยไอฟอร์มเนี่ยเขาเรียกอะไรนะfrom the V8 program that I think that really benefit if you can put V8 to the to the INSEE, and that it mean if we now also familiar with the V8 already, that is possible to use the V8 instead of the structure for INSEE. I mean that.
Dr. you can explain about what you have a problem with the V8.
Yeah.
So that
Okay. Because I not want to many program to make about the database. I mean maybe just only one program is very easy to understand and easy to collaborate. Okay.
But I should say, Susu, the V8 program is the first destination. It's specially created for not data collection, but it is created especially to make proper object model in your mind. This is the first thing, because you can place property on one level, on another level. You can divide all properties into groups. You can list all methods you use in your country for certain property determination. You can list your units of measurement. So you can construct ordered environment in soil description. It's the first thing. And when we can add another language, we have now 4 languages, and if we add one more language, we have one more point of view, and it helps in the future to make common standard.
Name of a province, พระนครศรีอยุธยา is quite ancient. Same, right? The same. Okay. And similar soil series, because we have many series that is similar. Okay. Now, down. Okay. ไปโน่นเลย And here this is a laboratory analyze. Okay. Yes. USDA grading sand silt clay, pH bar H2O or KCl maybe CaCl2, and also the calcium carbonate phosphorus by Bre2, ammonium acetate in the potassium. And also they have the carbon, nitrogen, some base, aluminum acidity, EC, and also the CaC of base saturation. And not I think maybe in the because this is look like the old data, but now we collect the new one. That it means you have the property something like a thin section, microstructure. You have something like the X-ray diffraction. You have how many chironite, how many inlay, how many smecta in this soil, and also for the bound density, and also the water retention, something like that. That it means how we have to manage. We have to put everything in one paper, something like that. That it means when after that I will think I will use this profile to put to the V8. Look like the representative soil, estimated soil CD that we found in Thailand. Yes.
We have soil profile data for soil map, but not like that much parameters. So, but when she put into the V8, she finds some difficulties. I don't know, because she is the one who tried to that encoding to the V8. So that she might have question tomorrow, and to show them and what the problem you are facing now, so that they can solve that one. Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing this. Yeah. We have all soil profile data, but not that much parameter. So sensitively, and also in the pH and P and K. Yep.
And normally we don't have the much data. In the first time, just only like you get okay, maybe P, K, pH, something like that. And after we work with maybe some guy from USDA, or some guy from Europe, that they took the sample from Thailand to maybe Holland or USDA to collect the data and analyze that, and they send it back to country. Even if you say it's quite a long time, 1968, that it means from Van der Kevy, that from Holland side, that he take the sample to Netherlands and collect and analyze and send it back about the data, right? And we think that we have to make like the structure first, and after that structure, that it means it should be complete. It should be complete, or that maybe you think that it is not necessary because you don't have the data, but we have to think more. That maybe in the 5 years or 10 years you will have the data. That I talked to Watana, that you have to prepare everything for the future, not for today. But for today, for the young generation, that you can put everything to the data. Tell Oleg that if you have the structure, you can make structure that complete. Yeah, not, okay, thank you. Alex, again, another, we think about the data policy. Data policy is very important, because I, myself, cannot bring our data to give to you. That is like Myanmar. That it means we have the data policy that you can, maybe you look like the letter that send to the DG, or send some paper, right, to the DG, say something what is the important, that is the data that you have to use in this project. And after that, DG will decide who will take response. DG can allow data to your side. That is the data policy of Thailand, like Myanmar, right? Please.
We found that problem the same in our 6 sixth ASEAN Soil Partnership meeting. So the Philippines and Korea and the other country, yeah, they said that they have the data policy, and so that the first thing we have to discuss about after developing the database, how we can share each other. So every country has to obey their rules and regulations and law. Yeah, thank you. Yep.
I mean, the global organization and this global database will be very complicated, as I understand, and it should use big drafts, and it may take too much time to be created. But probably you are need in a global database which can be part in future of this huge database with different goals. Probably that's why I think we should write down the goals, discuss the goals, because maybe your goal is to create this database to train your experts to understand how soil scientists from different countries solve problems they face. So the main idea is to define goals. That's what I want to say. Define goals of this global soil database. What for are you going to create it? What are the tasks? Understand? That's all.
Really, at least at FAO level, all these goals were defined already about 3 or 4 years ago. In C is a simple network, but global soil database we can list global stat, global system, soil system, tier 1 and tier 2 global database of profiles with a different resolution, and global system of system as a final dream of all this work. So all goals were defined several years ago.
Some parameters approximately, but we have them in any point. Then we take average scale, middle scale maps, digitize them, and cover some regions. And so we have more detailed information than large scale. And as for small scale, we have a name of classification, soil. And so we have some approximately parameters. And if our international system works over our country, to whole our country, we may, propose you the first step, digitize your soil map on all your country, of whole your country, for as a start of your program, and so have to collect and prepared of types of information it's all. Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
So the between first time workshop and second time workshop, we are now progressing, and then second workshop and third workshop that we are now progressing, but that we have the more limited to develop our SWAM digital and other SWAM information. So my idea is that so all we know our existing situation, what we are, where we are, where Myanmar SWAM information that now I mean you are in the Thailand are existing of our Myanmar SWAM information and where we are. So to develop a present to future. So we would like to follow your guidance. Yes. And then after this workshop tomorrow, your team, our workshop teams are visit to our DER at the time that the Suzuwin were present what we have done. What we have done, what we have done, our SWAM information and some data information put in there, our database. So this is the at the time that you can observe what we are doing and what of our saturation. This data base systems that maybe need to develop or some method we can suggest, your site suggest to us and what we are develop future. That we have to follow your guidance and to develop the SWAM database system. Thank you.